So,
when there's been in the past game-fixing scandals, it's always a team winning, not covering.
that's called point shaming.
It's called point shaming. And so that's why I go back to there's always more value in betting dogs in spread sports, basketball, and in football. I mean, would you say over the course of this?
You have a 2%. You have 2% advantage. Over the history of time, favorites cover 48% of the time.
Can you do me a favor and look at that camera and say that one more time for all these favorite bettors of the world? Listen, if you go to oddsxfactor.com and you pay $99 for 1 month of Kenny White's plays, opinion plays, right? Your early analysis, right? It's going to be a mixture in football of favorites, totals.
More totals than actually. I'll play more totals. You get more totals, but you'll have a mixture of favorites and underdogs with maybe a slight edge to hopefully more dogs.
And you would agree that the majority of the public in these books is playing favorites.
There's some people that won't play anything but a favorite. I've got a friend, he's never told me he likes an underdog. He's a pretty decent bettor, and he's a good size bettor, but he will never bet a favorite. But I don't think he's extremely successful.
Can you overcome that if you're rich enough to just keep piling the money in? I mean, I guess what you're saying is it's a good
favorites do cover. They cover 48% of the time. Dogs 51, and I think they tie, 1% of the time.
So you're saying that dogs cover 51% of the time. So if you don't handicap and you strictly bet every dog on the board,
you're a small loser.
And if you bet every favorite,
you're going to be a 4% loser. You're a 4% loser over time.
But you're a small loser if you bet the dogs.
1%.
Wow.
You have about a 3% edge betting dogs.
So you're going to have that day where you hit a lot of dogs and you feel really good.
Yeah.
You can walk. So really, if a guy knows nothing, he doesn't pay for any information, doesn't subscribe to any service, and he wants to be a recreational bettor for fun.
Right.
And he wants to, let's say, we'll call it stay in the game.
Yeah.
Because he, quote unquote, does it for fun, right? The guy that, wants to call me up and tell me he's subscribed to a service just because he wants to have a little fun. But he's only betting favorites. He's really he can't win.
No. I don't think you can win. You can't win betting every game. It's too difficult. You can bet a lot of games, but you can't bet every game.
Well, there's 15 games to open the second half of the season on Friday. 7 games in the American League, 7 games in the National League, and 1 interleague game. And as I was telling Brian on the radio, you know that since there's been this layoff, these guys are going to be itching.
Yeah.
You bet every game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I was thinking more of the players. It's been, and now I'm thinking about it, it's been such a good year for overs. Friday might have some really good overs.
Right.
Because the hitters needed the rest. The pitchers don't need that much rest. There are probably some pitchers, they're going to be pitching on too much rest.
Stale. It's not like they're out right now throwing the ball, taking. Yeah. They're just relaxed. Yeah. Now I noticed on Sunday, the day before the break, most of the games went under.
Did they?
Almost every game went under.
Yeah.
And I guess you can just chalk that up. That's going to happen sometimes. Have you run the numbers this year to see what the percentage of overs versus unders?
No, I just know the runs are up about a running game. 1 running game.
I noticed that also a lot of games are hitting the number. So for instance, like a Colorado game will move from 12 to 13, and the final will be 10 to 30. They're hitting the number.
Everybody won though. Everybody that went over 12 and 12 and a half won the game.
Yeah, but that late guy, he's pushing.
The late guy, does push it.
And it makes
a lot of guys feel like that's a bad number. If it opened 12 and then went to 12 and a half, and you didn't get the 12 and a half, why bet it at 13? Even though you got to push on that game. It's just a lot of people will do that. So it's like they feel like they're chasing a bad number.
So the question that I get from people when they call, and I ask you these line making questions, is they say the game must be fixed, or if a team was losing 10 to 10-2.
Yeah.
Why did the losing team, they must have hit that extra run to make it a tie. Like there's the conspiracy theory.
Yeah, well, I can say maybe 1% of every game is fixed. 1 out of 100 in almost every sport.
You believe that?
Yeah, oh yeah, oh definitely. There's no doubt.
You're going on video saying that. You believe that?
Oh yeah, 100%. Some way, somehow. It may not be a huge fix. It could be very small. It could be somebody.
So give me an example, because
It could be an umpire. It could be an umpire. It could be an umpire making a bad call that he made a bet on the game. It could be anybody.
Oh, and it doesn't even mean that it'll go his way. He's just hoping that he can bend something.
Yeah, it's anything. That I mean, the soccer leagues in Europe, 2% of those games are fixed. 2% of tennis matches are fixed. So, we know it. We try to find as much as we can, but there's things that happen in all sports, and it goes from the top down, and you never know. There's teams that tank because they're looking for better draft choices,
right?
A better draft situation. That's fixing.
If you want to get the number one draft pick at the end of the year,
yeah,
and you need to lose to get that number one draft pick, that's not. You shouldn't even have a line on those games.
Right. You're laying 5,000 on the money line, but this team doesn't want to win the game. They're not going to win the game, and the good team that's trying to make the playoffs, they're going to win. So I mean, it shouldn't be 5,000; it should be 10,000 to win. Those situations. So to me, that's tanking is fixing. And teams tank. Patriots, I felt like tanked last year at the end of the year. Week 17, they lost to the Jets. Situations like that they didn't need the game, and it knocked someone else out of the playoffs and put them in a different situation.
So you literally think it was like, we're going to go onto the field and
we're not giving it our all this week.
We may lose, we may win.
Yeah, we don't need the game.
So it's not like an outright fix. It's just that we're not going to give it our A game.
Tanking
we're not bringing our A game.
Yeah.
Interesting. But not like your thing. It's not
teams
like
give up too. Would have been a WNBA team that plays a double overtime game on Friday night and has to travel and play on Saturday, and they fall behind 19-5 in the first quarter, and they say, "Forget this, we're not coming back."
Like I had Minnesota Lynx the other day, Lynx minus 12, and they won like 96 to 52. I'm thinking, how do you get a score like that?
Well, because San Antonio's the worst team in the league, and they just lost their best player, who averages 17 a game, for the year. So they only have one scorer now in double figures, and they're the worst team in the league by far, playing the best team in the league by far, and the difference in the two teams' power rating is 20 points.
You've been on this WNBA.
Oh yeah, I make numbers on it every day.
Oh, see, I learned something new live on video. So what's your take on the handle of it? I have clients who are like loving WNBA and my sources. Have you been aggressively handicapping WNBA or putting, I know you make numbers.
Every day I do, yeah.
But have you been, for your X Factor clients, have you been putting?
No, I haven't been putting any WNBA out.
But on your personal plays yourself, without putting it out, have you been playing it yourself? Or?
I didn't know there was any interest in it, how many people would want to bet it.
But but your personal, have you been doing well with it?
Yeah, I've been doing very well.
So you're saying if there's a guy watching this video and he wants to get access to your personal stuff, there you can happen.
Yeah, definitely.
By picking up the phone and going to oddsxfactor.com. I didn't even know that because I got another guy who's been doing very well, but he basically only does totals, not size.
I do both.
Learn something new every day. And he's been a lot of overs he's been giving me. And I see the line move goes the wrong way. He wins the overs. They go down, he goes over. He goes under, he goes over.
Yesterday was 5-0 under.
Okay,
but the league for the season is 60% over. Every game, if you bet every game, you'd be 60% over. The scoring is up 12 points a game this year over last year. It took a little bit of a hit yesterday. It's probably around 11, maybe 10 and a half points.
And I'm pumped. I started this video thinking we were going to only talk about baseball. So, but have you noticed what I noticed, which is the line will pop on the game, or go down like 3 or 4 points on the total, and the game will fly over. He gives me the open. I'm going, did you see that line? And he's like you. He sticks to his
miss many. There's a couple teams that there's only a couple teams.
Obviously, we have Washington Mystics near me.
There's 2 teams that play defense and are a little methodical on offense. So out of a 12-team league, the other 10 all win. And there's a couple that run like crazy. There's one, I'm not going to tell you who it is.
Please don't, unless they call.
They've quit on their coach. and their coach has quit on them.
So you would almost call that like a fix, basically. If you know that,
Yeah,
that info is, you can fade it.
And I didn't read it anywhere. All I did was get it from reading the box score, and I got it from the box score. And I'm going to beat them. I'm going to win 4 or 5 units with this team before everybody catches up to this information.
Or they could get it by calling me.
Yeah, they can call you.
And
I'll give you 4 or 5 winners. This team side and total,
I like
and
it.
no one knows about this information.
So let me ask you back to the LA Sparks. I mean, this team's 18-1.
Yeah.
How do they make? Do they? Do the line makers make the tightest line on the teams with the best record? Because they're not good against the spread. They always hit that number close. The line's 11. They win by 9, 10, 11.
They're trying to make the tightest line in every team. They don't pick out the
But
top
don't you
teams
think
and
if
say,
you're not really a WNBA fan, you're going to be following that team closest because they got the best record. They're the hottest team. I mean,
I spend the same amount of time on every single team. So to me, I can't see a bookmaker doing that, and a professional bettor as well. There's no professional bettor that says, I'm going to just follow the top 5 teams in the league. He's got to follow every team in the league, because if you make a bad line on the bad teams, he's going to pound it. He's going to pound that line, and he's going to move that line into where it's supposed to be. Same thing with good teams. If the line's off, he's going to pound it.
all right. So we don't want this video to be too long, but let me ask you this for the people that know or don't know Kenny White. What do you think of CFL? Briefly, putting up lines on it. I see that it scores and odds, you know, these alternate, regular, traditional football. This football you can bet on. CFL and
CFL seems like it's becoming more popular.
AFL.
Football is more popular, and people are craving football all year round now. And so I think there's a lot of people betting the CFL. I'm not following it. I can't give you any winners there. I don't know any information on it. I've never done well in that league. I've handicapped it several years, but never done well with it. So no need me even touching it. WNBA, yeah, there's some good stuff there.
I'm
It's a great
excited.
league
That
for
goes all
travel.
the way to August.
Yeah.
So
Well, they're going to take a break soon.
okay.
They have 1 week left, and then they take a month break for the Olympics.
And do you put up the
And
lines?
I've got a couple other things. I got a couple other edges that are going to be extremely solid the last 2 weeks of the season.
in WNBA.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely solid, and that'll be at the end of August, beginning of September.
Beautiful. Now, let me ask you this regarding Olympics. Are you an Olympic line maker better?
No, I don't have enough time. I'm too deep into college football right now to even have any chance to go to another sport.
Right, we got the futures right up here, which we talked about in another video. Like I said, if you want to get access to the Kenny White's info, all you got to do is go to oddsxfactor.com, call the number. If you want to find out about his personal plays and his VIP plays, you can click that VIP link on the site. Or, as always, you can go to thesyndicateinsider.com, call me direct. You don't deal with clients directly on a daily basis. That's my job. If you want to come to Las Vegas, you want to sit down, you want to actually eat with him. I always say break bread with the clients. Eat. We actually eat. We don't just do videos. We drink non-alcoholic beverages because the sun is up. And you can too. You know, you'll meet clients. You'll sit down. There's seminars that come. Brian does hosts the Super Contest.
Right.
So last week in August, we have clients come out. We met clients before in the past. We like to learn game theory, line making theory, what makes these lines move, how they move. You'll get into that deep with clients. Give them a little whiteboard tutorial on how this stuff works. I mean, because you've only been doing this, what, your whole life? You're 52, and you've been in the line
Pretty
making
much.
business since
80%.
80%.
80% of my life.
80% of your life. So again, it is July 14th. Tomorrow is the first day back of MLB. We're not telling you to bet every game over the total, because if it was that easy.
Yeah. There'll be some good ones though.
Right. Do the same rules apply with dogs and favorites in baseball? Why in the video on that? You said 48%.
Yeah.
To
Every sport.
48-50.
No, it's no different because there's money lines involved in baseball. So actually, I shouldn't say that. I'd have to break that down. But if I broke it down and calculated out what the money lines are, it probably will come out very close to being the same.
But you just can't be a favorite chalk better. All right, that is your wrap up for this hot 42 2 degrees Celsius, and I know that because the rent-a-car that I got must have been a European guy that didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't change it.
Or Canadian.
Right, so I did the conversion. It's only 108 outside.
Nice.
But it's a
It's not
dry.
bad.
It's a dry heat. Now, how hot was it in Florida when you just got back from Florida?
100 with 50% humidity.
So it's 108 today. We landed on that dry heat. It was 100 in Florida with 50% humidity. What would you say the big difference is?
The humidity, you're sweating all day. Just non-stop sweating. You know, even after you shower, you're sweating.
So you'd rather be in this?
I'd rather be in this. I don't sweat out here in this.
Yeah, it's just like a searing fire.
It's just a searing fire. Yeah, but I'm not out in the heat though. I stay inside the air conditioning and work on football all day. So
That's it. Football in the middle of July.
AC.
That's it. Good day and good luck.